everyone, this is Garrett and this is Painkiller, Battle Out of Hell. And we are about to do level 5, the Dead City. I'm finally gonna get rid of this card that doubles my ammo, and I'm gonna replace it with Soul Catcher, because it's been too long since we went into demon mode, and it would be nice to do that once again. So, having changed that, let's get started. And here we go. Now the Dead City is a bit of a tricky one. We have 20 minutes to beat the level. If we don't beat it in 20 minutes, then we do not get a tarot card, and that's rather unfortunate. And it's filled with a lot of nasty stuff, one of which is a smaller version of the boss in the previous level, which I'm actually immediately going to use my tarot card. I'm going to shoot it once to show you what the scepter does. That's what the scepter does. It just destroys enemies. It's absolutely ridiculous how powerful this card is. And yeah, it really is just the strongest card in the game. There is one card which we're gonna get much later, which arguably might be even better considering it's a silver card, but that's something we'll get to when we actually get it. But that's gonna take a while, unfortunately. Until then, we are just going to kill all these zombies. There's a lot of zombies here. They're coming out of the, I want to say wells, but it's more like sewer drains, I suppose. And there's a fair amount of them. Beating this level in 20 minutes is absolutely not impossible at all, even with getting all the secrets. But it is probably a little bit easier if you're not going for all secrets, actually, considering you have to waste a little bit less time. There are a couple of these which explode, which are usually the ones that are holding their head, but sometimes they're not. I'm honestly not 100% sure how to differentiate between the two, but they're not really that much of a threat, especially considering there's a lot of health power-ups in this stage. Even if you don't have Soul Catcher, you should definitely be fine when it comes to your health situation. So, all in all, if you are really worried, you can just take care of them by shooting them from a distance with this little gun over here, but you should be fine. Now, moving on, I'm going to grab that because it gives us 100 health. And we're going to go upstairs. I'm going to grab this gun because it's good and it kills that guy. These guys start vomiting down, and that actually deals a pretty large amount of damage if you get stuck under that. And they are kind of hard to see if you're just going here because they sort of just appear. And this is also kind of an odd one. If you run past these barrels normally, they'll explode. But if you sort of hop on the side here, they won't, and that's how you get this holy item over here, which is also the first secret area. And that's also why it's a secret area, because it might not be immediately obvious considering you're just running through a hallway. But as you can see, a whole bunch of enemies are falling down, instantly exploding, but these zombies unfortunately grow back again. It just takes a while before they actually turn into solid beings, I suppose. And this is also pretty much the main reason why it can be a bit worrying when it comes to getting the tarot card, where you need to beat the level within 20 minutes, because it seems like you just have to wait a lot longer when there's a time limit and you have to get things done as quickly as possible. Most likely when we beat the level, we're probably going to be around 18 minutes or something like that, depending on basically one secret area and how good that one's going to go. But we'll see that when we get there, like many things in this game. Now, I'm trying not to go into demon mode here because it's a little bit pointless here in my opinion, so I'm just going to kill all these guys. Every now and then they'll explode in my face, but that's fine. At least then I won't have to shoot them anymore. They usually take like 1 or 2 shots to kill with the shotgun, and there's plenty of ammo to go around here as well. So all in all, there's not much to worry about. Plus, you can actually destroy the car. It functions basically as any other explosive, but you have to shoot it a couple times before it blows up. And that's why I'm mostly just focusing down these enemies instead, because it works just as well, really. Now, because we don't have the 50 soul tarot card, we do need to get a little bit more souls, which is good. Because again, this is really not the most useful place to get yourself demon mode. And might as well use this gun every now and then, because it allows us to have a little bit of an easier time to deal with these enemies from a larger range. And it is pretty useful to keep them at bay, because I don't want them to give me demon mode, like I've said a couple times now. There is an ammo box over there. I think I'll skip it because we are definitely fine on ammo. Pick up this health power-up as quickly as possible, because I'm pretty sure it actually spawns some enemies, and you do actually need to kill those before you can move on. So that is kind of an annoying one, definitely. Now, these guys are tricky. They don't really do a whole lot, but they do fly around really annoyingly, and I think this is actually the only level where they actually appear in as well. And I think I'll actually go into demon mode here. This might not actually be the worst place to go into demon mode. Apparently they're moving the car around, which looks a little bit odd, but what are you gonna do? And someone exploded into that mailbox, which is also a little bit of an odd decision, but hey, they're zombies. They don't know what they're doing. It is a little bit annoying when they start throwing cars at you, though. They are doing a pretty good job at slowly dealing some damage, because that was pretty much all my armor there that was removed for me, which I'm not very happy about, but oh well. Not much you can do about it. Now, I kind of want to go into demon mode here just because of these flying dudes, because they are just really annoying in my opinion. They're kind of hard to hit because they jitter around so much. And because of that, they take a lot longer to kill. You can waste a whole bunch of ammo. They don't die in like one shot from any gun either. You need to shoot them a couple times, and that's why I'm always a little bit worried. I've changed my mind on demon mode because of having killed so many enemies already. I don't think there's that much left here, so it would be good to just sort of try and avoid that. Might as well use our stake gun. It's been a while since we properly used that, and we might as well, though this is a little bit too far away for my taste, so the bolt gun it is. And it does the job just as well, if not better. Making sure that there's no souls here. I think we should be running out of enemies pretty soon, but they are kind of all spawning in that area over there, which is a little bit annoying, but oh well. I wonder if maybe there's like a slight difference in their character model or something that shows that they have like an explosive attached to them. I'm honestly not 100% sure, but it's always a bit confusing when they explode and when they don't. So we're going to go up this ladder. This ladder is a little bit annoying. It's actually probably easier to climb if you're not jumping than when you are, which feels a little bit slow, but otherwise you might get stuck on the same step for like 5 times. It's also a little bit silly, really. And the game wants us to go over there. I kind of want to go further up, though, because I want to go to that rooftop over there. This is kind of a tricky jump because you won't always get enough speed, kind of like I did right there. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure how this jump just works, which is kind of annoying, but hopefully I should get it in like 1 or 2 tries, and otherwise I'll just load the game. But let's try this again. And nope. So I'm just going to load the game and do this a couple times. I'm honestly not sure how that jump works. It seems that you need to like be on part of a sort of slanted area, and then you'll sometimes jump further and other times you don't. It's just kind of awkward to do, but we got there in the end. We got our holy items and we got our armor, which I mostly went there for the holy items, let's be honest, but armor is always nice to have. But at the same time, there is an armor power-up immediately over here as well, which gives you the exact same amount of armor, so it's kind of on that boundary of do I really need this, but oh well. So now we're just going to fight this guy normally, because there's a room coming up that I don't really like to deal with, and tarot cards make that room a little bit easier. And you can sort of see the difference between using the scepter and not using the scepter like this. And you get to see his attacks, which are maybe not immediately obvious, but as you can see, they have a fair amount of health, but fortunately there's always demon mode, which definitely removes the remaining part of his health as well, and therefore we don't really have anything to worry about. And we can also try to take care of the enemies as they're falling down. Now, usually there's a bunch of flying enemies here as well, and I guess they haven't spawned yet. But I sort of forgot about demon mode, so what are you going to do? It's not too much of a problem, though. It just means we have to shoot a couple of extra times. Also, those guys drop a red soul, which gives us a little bit of extra health, which is always nice to have, of course. And after we kill these guys, I'm actually going to run back a bit because there is a 100 health power-up waiting for us over there. And as always, I want it. So that always helps things as well. And no, we pretty much just have to kill more zombies. It's really not a super exciting level, fortunately, in a way. I'm not sure if fortunately is the right word there, but oh well. And also, I kind of wanted to keep that van alive because it makes getting that... Well, it's one way of getting that particular holy item over there. And I'm hoping that it doesn't despawn, because after it gets destroyed, you have a limited amount of time to basically move it around, and after a while it just disappears entirely. But I believe there's another van there as well, so hopefully we can just use that one if all goes wrong. Which is probably the case, considering these guys are taking ages to kill. It's kind of silly, to be perfectly honest. There we go. And that got rid of most of them. There's still an arrow pointing in that direction. It's a small problem with these flying dudes. Sometimes I think their AI just gets a little bit confused, and it sort of just gets stuck behind things. And you have to wait a really long time before they actually get out of there. And it's really annoying. Like, I guess one of them just actually get stuck there, and it just disappeared after a while. And immediately after getting our van in the right location, It, of course, instantly disappeared. We can try using this one, though. It seems to be the exact same model, so hopefully this should be fine. This is just one of at least 2 ways of getting this particular secret, though. And if you cannot get a van like this, you can do it other ways, fortunately. Because I really hate this way. Like, this van is the most uncooperative vehicle that has ever been put in a video game. It's just really tedious to use. And honestly, if this takes too long, I'll probably just switch to the other method. But using the Painkiller, you can actually just jump up a bunch and jump up here. And I'm very glad I got that as quickly as I did. Usually that takes way longer. And honestly, it's just a mess. But oh well. He moves closer and that checkpoint disappears and cars start falling from the sky. And it's a problem. You don't want to get hit by that because it deals a fair amount of damage. And it also spawns more of these flying dudes because we haven't seen enough of those as it is. But what are you gonna do? Fortunately, we have a bunch of ammo for this gun, so it's about time we use it as well. The bolt gun actually is pretty good for these guys as well, but because they move around so jittery, it can be hard to actually hit them with it, which is the problem. But it does kill them rather quickly, so if you do manage to get a hit off with it, it's actually pretty decent. But I prefer to just go with like spraying guns or the shotgun because there's just a larger chance that one of your bullets will actually hit them at all. So that's kind of a nice thing indeed. And it looks like another one got stuck somewhere, which might actually be a little bit of a problem. And like I said, this is basically the reason why I don't really like using the bolt gun, because I just miss with it all the time. And then I switch to the shotgun and everything's okay. It's just a matter of preference in the end. 1050, it's a little bit on the high side, but oh well, I think we should still be fine. I'd rather be like a minute lower than that right now, but I think all in all we should probably be okay. And just gonna kill more of these zombies, shoot them as they come along. There is actually a secret behind those cars. We can actually grab it right now, but there is a more fun way of getting it, and that's the way I'm gonna go for. It takes a little bit longer as well, which is probably a little bit worrying, to be perfectly honest, but I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. The only downside with, like, the one main thing I dislike about this level is the way the zombies spawn, because it just feels like it takes forever before they're actually, like, possible to hit at all. And it's a problem when you're playing against a time limit. It makes everything a lot more stressful. So killing everyone here opens this door with a 100 health power-up. And it closes the door behind us when we go through it. And a whole bunch of zombies start running past and up to that little slope over there. And it also blows up a bunch of stuff over there and spawns one of these guys, which I believe we saw in the first level of Battle Out of Hell. And unlike the first one, we can actually just immediately attack this one and not worry about it because it's actually pretty harmless. You can just destroy it with the Painkiller. It often gets stunned, and his melee attacks aren't very good either. They're mostly just scary looking. They're not actually very effective at all, which is nice. And the secret area hides a holy item and some ammo boxes, which is also always nice to have, of course. Now, here we go to the second floor of the parking lot, and eventually enemies start flying in and not immediately become dangerous, but we have to wait. But after they become dangerous, we get to kill them, and more time is spent doing so. The main, like, honestly, the odds of actually dying, there's only one particular battle in this entire level which I would give a pretty high chance of dying for, but we're actually just going to use tarot cards for that one because it's just not fun. It's just a really horrible area, but for the most part the level is pretty easy, just because the zombies don't really deal that much damage and they're not very fast either. Like, you can outrun them without jumping at all, and they're honestly not much of a threat. Even if a whole bunch of them just explode near you, they're really not that much to worry about. So it's mostly just trying to kill them as quickly as possible so you actually get the tarot card at the end. And there's also so many health power-ups in this entire level as well that honestly, most likely nothing will go wrong, but you know, there's always a chance of something exploding a little bit too hard and it might go wrong that way. So going to this floor, there's a whole bunch of these guys. I'm actually going to activate my tarot card for the second time here because this place, it can take a while, and that's just so much quicker. Mostly also for this area that's coming up, which is just behind this door, because there are a lot of enemies here, and our secondary fire takes care of them very rapidly. And this is actually how you get the other secret area normally. Like, you can jump from the sides of the building over there, and you can actually reach that holy item, which we grabbed using the van earlier as well. And it's a little bit of a better way of getting it. if you can't do it with the van method. I would argue that that way is a lot easier as well. So we're just going to stand over here, shoot to the side, because a whole bunch of enemies are spawning behind this counter. Like at least 3 groups, I think, which is definitely a fair amount. So kill those quickly, kill everything, all is good. Get some more minigun ammo if you can pick it up, but most likely you're already actually filled. Unfortunately, we don't actually have that gun yet, but we'll have it pretty soon. Moving on though, when we move over here, enemies spawn on the side there, but more importantly, this door will open, and there are a bunch of enemies over here waiting for us, and also a bunch of tiny ones, which are probably a little bit more important actually, because there's just such a large amount of them. And we're actually going to use demon mode to kill these enemies over here, because it's a little bit easier in my opinion, and it's also a little bit easier to see which ones are still alive because of it. And there's also just a bunch of stuff blocking you normally, and the faces are going completely crazy because of it, shooting it with demon mode, but what are you going to do? But I think we got all of them, and we can indeed move on. Fortunately, the checkpoint always shows up on the compass at the top as well, so you can tell when you've actually killed everything, even when in demon mode. So going all the way downstairs, we grab all this ammo underneath the staircase, and we're gonna go back upstairs again, because there's a whole bunch of enemies waiting for us. Unfortunately, using that secondary fire, and then immediately, while using the secondary fire, also using the primary fire, we shoot that disc on the floor, and they take care of these guys pretty well. We're actually taking a fair amount of damage here. I'm quite surprised with how hard they're exploding on top of me right now, but it should probably be fine. I don't think there's much left to worry about anyway, so it's okay. We finally get the minigun. There it is. And also the rocket launcher subsequently. And we are definitely on time as well, so we should be good. There is one more holy item, which you get by jumping up this particular thing. It's a little bit iffy sometimes, and sometimes you'll just fall off for seemingly no reason. But jump on that, then jump from that to here. I find that one a little bit easier to jump on than this one, which is odd because they're the same model, I'm pretty sure, but oh well. I usually have more luck with the other one for some reason. And from here, jump up and jump from thing to thing and grab that last holy item. It's not actually a secret area, which is pretty odd because usually these things are secret areas. And this is the part where I'm going to be using my tarot cards one last time, and I'm just going to shoot like a complete idiot, because the dudes that are basically capable of moving items around are now throwing cars at us. And the only way to kill these particular ones is by killing all the zombies and making their souls fly towards them. And these cars can hurt so much. And doing this with tarot cards is, well, for one, a lot quicker because you can take care of the zombies because they're all hiding behind cars. And it's also just a lot safer due to the fact that you don't have to worry about the cars being thrown at you, because those cars can deal like 100-something damage or something. And there's so many cars there, and you have to kill quite a lot of zombies before you actually like are capable of just hitting them at all. So it's definitely one of the scariest places. And this last one, we just shoot a whole bunch with our minigun. Eventually, he should die. It probably won't take too much longer before he just gives up and explodes himself. This might be the one, actually. No, he's still alive. Wow. But eventually... wow, I'm actually just completely ran out of ammo for this thing. Is he not going to die today? I don't think he feels like dying anymore, which is kind of a problem. He does like repeating that same attack over and over, but he is not interested in dying anytime soon, it looks like. Which is pretty odd. Usually he doesn't take this much trouble, but I don't know, maybe this one's not feeling it today. But we still have 2 minutes to kill this guy, so if we just keep shooting him, eventually he should just fall over. Like, this should be enough. And I'm honestly kind of surprised that he's not dead yet. Usually, this is actually where I would also use some tarot cards just because it kills this guy a little bit quicker, but man, this is ridiculous. I've never seen him take this much before. Like, you can see him getting hit, and it's just... finally. Man, that took forever to kill, but whatever. We killed him in the end. We killed him within 20 minutes, which is more important because we need that for the tarot card. And we found all secret items and all holy items as well. And we unlocked Demon Morph. This is kind of an odd one because it basically does exactly what you expect it to do. It turns you into a demon as basically just using... like, when you get 66 souls... it basically does exactly the same as this. The thing is, though, tarot cards last for 30 seconds, and demon mode, including the one from this card, doesn't last that long. Like, you'll still be using the remaining 2 tarot cards if you equip this one, longer than you actually get the effect for the demon mode, and it's pretty odd. But at the same time, it's kind of cool because having this means you can combine it with something like dexterity, and your demon mode weapon will actually shoot really fast, which is mostly pointless, but you know, it looks really cool. So in a way, that's kind of an interesting combination to use. It sort of replaces Iron Will in a way, because demon mode, you are invincible while using it, and it is actually pretty good, but I kind of prefer the thing we got going on right now, just for the sake of being able to kill everything already anyway in one hit, kind of like demon mode already does as well. And I don't feel like it really adds a real benefit to what we have going on right now. But that was that. And that is also where I'm going to end the video. So I hope you enjoyed it so far. The next time we play, we are going to do Battle Out of Hell level 6 Leningrad. And that is kind of a tough one as well. And I hope to see you there. Bye-bye.